We got Tournament Edition. We got an older version of Drew's. I just gotta change the settings. Run a window. Force aspect ratio. No, don't want that. No, we don't need bilinear filtering. Enable joystick. Sleep when possible. No, turn that out. Okay, I think that this works. Just gotta resize my screen here. Okay. Yeah, so this is an older version. I gotta redo my buttons. My buttons. I really should just check to see if the codes work first before I do all this. I don't have any of that set up. Cool. Alright, we'll just put this stuff on out and make it easier. Let's do...
Excellent.
I'm not going to mess around with anything else. Alright, let's go back to this. We'll do Kabal. Okay.
Round one. Fight.
And we just pause that. And then we'll do... I'll get back to the messages in a second. Oops. That should be good. All right. Unknown spy. What did you ask again? Apologize for asking again. I just wasn't sure if you saw my message earlier. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. You can ask me a third time, and I'll answer it if I didn't. How do you feel about them fixing Mortal Kombat MKLK? No, it's great. I just hope that I hope they fix everything that needs to be fixed, because there's some things I can see them fixing and then not worrying about others. So I don't know. We'll see. Kill Dill. I think the state of the game is great, but just some major flaws that can be fixed if they really care about the MK community. Yeah, they need to fix what needs to be fixed. Like the standard for releasing a game like this, if you're advertising that there's going to be online play, there's certain features that people expect to have, and if you don't have them, people aren't going to play. Skill gap between casual, online, and daily events. Oh yeah, that's gonna be like that for any game though. Like if I go on like a Street Fighter game or like Marvel Collect, I went on Marvel Collection for like days. I didn't lose a single match. But like if I played against like good players, like I don't have a chance. Um, New players should know that will be a thing. Absolutely, yeah, of course. B&B smoke combo you did, Shock, is a definite favorite for USA players. It's pretty obsolete now outside of the US. I mean, the only thing he could do different there is the roundhouse. Punch punch roundhouse teleport, which then depends on where you are on the screen. But doing like relaunchers and stuff, maybe you're talking about? I don't know. I'm just giving an example of like the kinds of things that we would do in like the combo tutorial videos that I'm working on. So for Kabal, so that combo, as you can see, was 36%. But because there is a bug with the spin, if you let them fall out, that is 59%. And that is a huge difference. So let's see. Let's do... Should probably make this a different button. And make that a different button. High punch. I'll do that. Okay. So with Kabal, you'll see people do like maybe this, like maybe that as a punch. 42, that's pretty good. And then you'll see people do like a punch before it. Again, this is obviously only works against, you know, a few characters. The, you know, Scorpion, Ermac, Smoke, and then I guess Kano, Kabal, Liu Kang. Anybody who has like punishment mode, Sonya, she like kind of like sails across the screen. Anybody who has any kind of move that puts them in the air that you can safely juggle them without having to worry about getting hit. But Kabal can also do a jump kick before it. He did not hit the ground there. And that is a nice little 58% there. And again, it's hard to do. The timing is pretty tight on it. But so if you do it too late, they can block it there. But stuff like that. So we're going to put all kinds of stuff in these. And it's going to be good. Let's do, so like... Sorry, I'm screwing that up. You don't want to like overrun underneath there. Like that. See a lot of people screwing that up. If they even bother to go for something like that. You can actually get like double punch here. This is not usually the scenario that you would see this, but you can get like double. And we'll just stick with this. You can actually get like another punch, jump kick, fireball in there, which is like very, very rare. You like never see that ever happen. He's like just a little bit too high for that. But you can get two. I don't know why he's missing that. But if you let him drop too much, then you can't get it. It's easier against like Jax, Striker, Sub-Zero. But in those situations, you would do like a cross up first. But yeah, so stuff like that would be really really helpful to people. It's just a matter of me like putting stuff together.
Sonya. Kung Lao.
That was an accident. I don't want to do that. What are some unique combos to this game? between what regular UMK3 and Wavenet, because I went back to, well, it's technically UMK3 Plus, but it still plays like MK3, UMK3. Basically, the only difference is that like a handful of characters are nerfed and they can't do like their full combos, like infinites and stuff. It's like any characters with relaunchers, they can't do relaunch infinites. You know, let's do Striker, Riot Gun has been disabled after like a certain number of hits. Ermax, Telekinetic Slam. I went like over all that stuff earlier on in the video, in the stream. Sorry. So yeah, it's interesting that the things that they chose to fix, but it's not really that much. It really isn't. So like, this is an infinite that most people don't really see. So I didn't let him come back over to the corner before I did it there. But like, if you punish like a special move or like a high kick, low kick, she can do this against like a handful of characters, not that many, but it's something that like is really only, you know, you don't really see people use it too much. But like stuff like that will be in the video just to show like optimals against specific characters. But oops, screw that up.
Well done.
That was blockable. Just seeing my timing here on relaunches.
Well done.
Yeah, I'm not getting those. But then, so like if you're in this corner, it still hits, but because it's the player 2's corner in player 2, they stay against the wall, so then it pulls them out, so they're like safer from it over there. But yeah, it's just an interesting little combo that it's kind of like related to the MK1 original Mortal Kombat Infinite with Sonya, where she can leg grab you infinitely because it has a, they call like the sitting duck state where they can't block. Oop, I screwed that up. That's right, I have to do it the other way anyway. But yeah, so then Kung Lao, his spin misses now after a certain number of hits in Wavenet. Of course, I'm gonna screw that up. It is just not working. Did they add some new uppercut combo strings? No, there's no uppercut. Sorry, I should say there's no like added combos in Wavenet. Just the limitations on relaunchers. What is happening here? So like Kung Lao wouldn't be able to do this in Wavenet, which is good. He doesn't need that. I don't know. I think he can hit that. There it is. The air throw Human Smoke does at the end of that B&B gives up the potential to relaunch and carry the opponent. Yeah, we've known that. I mean, 20 plus years. That's not new. That's just people don't do it because it's not as reliable. Man. Funny. Yeah, he doesn't need a corner infinite. He just... He already has, like... There you go. You gotta stick a pause in there. Sure, I can break 50% without going back into the spin. Yeah, you can get another dive kick, jump kick, dive kick in there. I'm like missing the spin here. Yeah, so you can do that. That was like kind of a slippery collision there. You can go back to the other side. Some things are like somewhat side dependent. There we go. That's a good one. I missed a low kick there, but yeah, pretty wild. But that would be possible on Wavenet, so far as I know. A little bit too easy there. Oh yeah, keyboard I've been using for MK at least to some extent since like MK2 on PC, so like 1995 I would say when I had a MK2 on PC. And then MK3 after that I used it almost exclusively because there was just no good controllers back then. And definitely no like arcade sticks for PC. That was just not a thing. But then once it was like emulated and emulated well, like by like 03, as most of my MK playing has been done on keyboard. But still, I still play on stick though. But yeah, like 30 years of keyboard now. Definitely keyboard is my preferred play method. And actually, like keyboard with like real buttons is the best. So a Mixbox would be for sure like the best. And obviously no button locking and anything like that is like the real like reason why I'm doing this. And the other keyboard that I use on my other computer is perfectly fine. I would, if I had that out here, I would definitely be using it. It's just that it's like a pain in the ass to unplug that computer. So I'm just gonna like order another one of those. You like a flat key? So like these are somewhat flat. These are more like laptop buttons on this keyboard. They're okay. I like more clicky buttons. They're like softer. But yeah. So anyway. Sorry, just checking some other stuff. My cat is meowing, so he's definitely hungry. And it is 3 a.m., so yeah, that is his overnight feeding time. So I will be feeding him in a few minutes. Marcelo, Shock, do you know why Doc Mac didn't want to share his Wavenet board? No clue. I really don't know. Like, I can make assumptions. Like, I can say that like he just didn't want to do it because this is his personal, feelings on maybe on like, ROM dumps or something like that. Like, I honestly don't know. Never talked to him. But I could see that being a reason. I can only speculate. Yeah, it's just the way things are. But we have it now, so. But that's about it. So I was just messaging with Conqueror there too in between. So he's not going to be able to jump in the chat tonight, but I'll come back on. And maybe we'll do some matches. Maybe we'll do some Fightcade. Or we'll play. Maybe we'll play UMK3 TE or something like that. I think he can right now. I think he has accessibility. So we'll see what happens. Soul Glow, thank you for the follow. James, yeah, I'll message you when I come on. Yeah, yeah, I don't know if you didn't get the notification. UMK3 competitive scene seems dead at this stage. The current state. So it's really like a relative thing in terms of like I don't know, like, you know, outside the states, like what the average number of players is for any one of the like classic games, but like it's ultimately it's not a lot of people. It's just dedicated people. So I don't know. It can come back at any time. I was really hoping that this was going to be good out of the box and would give like some kind of boost, and then maybe it would get people to talk about it, and they'd be like, okay, we can come over to Fight Kate or something like that. You know, you're just not going to get people to play on Kylera anymore. It's just really just not going to happen. So I don't know, but it would be nice to get that kind of like splash damage. Gamer Geek Nerd, is this the Ewa Shock? It is the Ewa Shock. EWA Shock. Yeah, James. This is a small but hardcore crowd. You know, extremely dedicated. So, I mean, there's only so many years that you can expect people to stick around. Like you had like the initial arcade era, and then when that was gone, like the game pretty much should have died out. But like fortunately, emulation was a thing soon enough after. Like you still had arcades that had it, but you had to like find those arcades and get people to go there. So you're like now you're asking people to travel just to play. You know, it's like an old game that should have went, you know, in a bygone era. But then, like, emulation stuck around long enough that then they started re-releasing the games. And then that was with every fighting game. And then you got, like, another release for, like, another, you know, console. And then another game got it. It was, like, game by game. So, like, there's been this, like, steady carryover from like game release to game release that have kept like just enough people interested. But it's been a long time now. It's been 15 years. And this really should have been like a big deal. Like it really should have been a big deal. And unfortunately we're just stuck in this and we gotta wait. Yeah, and James, when you say most games last 5 to 7 years, like those are games that are released every 5 to 7 years, like Street Fighter, whereas with Mortal Kombat it's been a 2-year cycle pretty much. 2011, 2013, 2015, 2017, 2019. Then we didn't have anything for 4 years, but it looks like we have a gap again though. 23 to 25, we're probably not going to get something until next year. Maybe we need that extra year. Maybe we'll see another MK versus DC. Again, can only speculate. EWA Shock is the one who does crazy juggle combo movies way back. Yes, the old combo movies. Yeah, that's really what boosted interest back in like 2003 when we started doing them. That was a very, very important aspect of like the resurrection of the arcade games. There's nothing, and there would have been nothing without it. I'm just being honest. There would really been nothing without the tournaments that we ran in combination with the combo videos. Everything at this stage has been discovered already. New MK3, new retro fighting game. Much deserved. Well, you know what? You have to make it interesting to play. That's really what it comes down to. There's been like tiny little things that have been discovered, but they're not really anything that like people who are playing it would be interested in. But it's just a matter of like creating an appeal around playing, and right now like we don't have it. I was really hoping this week that it was going to be it, you know. James, yeah, NEC. So NEC 2 was my first tournament that I ever went to, and I think you were there. Did you play in the UMK3 tournament that night? I know there's like a really loose like results for that tournament, and there is a James listed in it, but I mean I could just be throwing that out there. I definitely know that I saw you around back then. Marcelo, yes, I have met Tadrusis. I met him back in 2018 at Summer Jam, and that was like an impromptu UMK3 tournament. I had originally, so I was streaming the NRS games at the time, but for whatever reason they had another streamer for Injustice 2, which was odd, and especially considering that it was like still like all my game systems and monitors and everything were still being used for the for the tournaments. So it was basically like I would run like the NRS portion of an event, but because I wasn't going to be doing that and just supplying the setups, I was afforded the ability to run like a classic MK side event. But originally it wasn't going to be like an event. It was just going to be me and Conqueror. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but we go back like 20 years. And we just like told some people about it, and all of a sudden people were like, well, hell, I'm willing to travel 400 miles to go hang out with you guys, which is good because usually if I'm running like a big tournament for like an MK, like MKX or Injustice or something like that, I'm tied up most of the weekend. I can maybe get like a handful of casuals here and there. I can't really do too much else, but because I had like the whole weekend open, we ran an impromptu tournament, and it was pretty nice. Let's see. That's where you had the emulation working, and I remember you solidly selling it. Yeah, that was probably NEC 6. I don't know if you were there. That was at the Penrose Hotel in Philly, but that was NEC 6 where we really started using MAME, and we had like 2 arcade sticks and like the keyboard, and like we had like PlayStation controllers. Like everything was all like hooked up. Unknown Spy, I've never played against Ali. I really don't play online much. I haven't for like 15 years. Because running tournaments, we would always have like something set up and people would play there, and I would get my fix in. Yeah, I definitely remember seeing you at like break tournaments, James, and some NECs, like going back, like I said, like to like '01. Eric nicely asked you to go. But yeah. Yeah, so NEC 2018 was definitely just like like just a really fun weekend. Didn't really get to do what I initially intended, but it's just because people showed up and people wanted to play. So that was how it ended up. Yeah, yeah. The venue fees just started going up, and especially when it was no longer like in like university pinball. Oh man, old man problems, guys. Don't get old. Yeah, that was that's always an issue. We still got demo sound here. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight, though. Let's see. Let's see if we can raid somebody. It's got to be somebody streaming some kind of classic MK stuff here. Let's see. Classic Spirit. What is this? Is this just
Okay, so we're okay. So fun fact,
Who is this?
the Mortal Kombat, well, the fuzzy microphone. The fuzzy microphone is also brought to you by yours truly. But the Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 1 music that you hear is a vinyl rip from Enjoy the Ride Records that I personally recorded myself.
I'm gonna shut that down.
From my own personal collection there, with a K. Also, I want to let y'all know, since we've done Mortal Kombat 1 a couple of nights ago, going through the arcade mode.
I haven't really heard anybody's opinion on Wavenet. There's just a lot of goofy changes that I would consider to be like not knee jerk, but the way they changed them and it's probably just because they had a limited amount of time and accessibility. That's the only way I have to talk to Lex about it more. But yeah, Lex. Let's see. Not sure if it is, as they don't like Lex related. I heard in the Rio podcast. Lex has a reputation. I've been talking with him a lot more recently, and I'm probably going to bring him on, and we'll do just like a Wavenet review sort of thing, and we'll see how that goes, and then maybe we can get some other people in too. But Lex and I go back, over 20 years. So we'll see what happens with that, but it'll be interesting. Absolutely agree with you, Shock. You're definitely an OG in the retro MK scene, big inspiration for players, take UMK3 new heights. Yeah, been playing since the arcade days, and jumped over with content. And I mean, literally 25 years ago was like the first combo video that I ever released. It was a trilogy combo video. It was like black and white, like 15 frames a second, 160 by 120, little tiny little combo video set to Scum of the Earth by Rob Zombie. And like I said, that was 25 years ago. And then I started doing my own message boards in 2002. And then I went like across like every single gaming website that had anybody who was talking about classic MK between like 03 and 05, like 06, and then I just decided, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just open a full message board. I'm gonna invite everybody. I think like within like a few days we had over 1,000 people. And I think about that, that's like pretty crazy, because you would think now there's like not 1,000 people who would even want to talk about classic MK, but back then it was it was everything. James, yeah, man, do a Wavenet stream. Check it out. Study the differences and, see what you can do. Free old arcade. You were about the only guy who could beat me on any type of consistent basis. I'm going to be honest. I don't remember if we did play. If you remember us playing, then I'm going to say we did. But at those memories, I mean, again, it's 30 years ago. Very foggy. I only remember a couple of times. I know I played it there a bunch, but I only remember like a couple nights very specifically. The first night that I ever played UMK3, of course. I mean, you might have even been there, I would assume. But yeah, like I just remember there being a crowd around that like mega cabinet, like one of those Tekken, Marvel 2 like custom cabinets where like the controls are like further out and like very wide set with the bigger screen and the big speakers on the sides. So they gave it like a really nice showing. Like they had like a regular UMK3 cabinet there as well in that timeout arcade. But they used that later after they switched. I think they switched like Tekken or something like that. But yeah, and I just remember walking up and seeing that guy playing Sector and just beating everybody with like spamming missiles and teleport uppercuts. And I was like, oh man, like I can beat this guy. Like this is no problem. And he must have beat like 4 or 5 people before I got up to him, and I picked Scorpion. I'd never played obviously before, and I just read like his combos in a magazine, and I footsied with the guy until he did a teleport uppercut and punished it with a punch spear 4-hit combo, and I was just like, I'm like, yes. And then I just did like a semi-random the rest of the night. The last guy that I beat, I did the Kung Lao, the hat throw. And then I didn't even look. I like turned around. It was like I was I like 14? Like my mother was just like, all right, we're leaving. And I was like, okay. So I turned around to the kid behind me and I was just like, you can have my game. And I like walked off into the sunset. So yeah. All right. So I'm gonna send you over. Let's see. We got somebody playing MK2. It doesn't look like he's playing any serious competition or anything like that. But let's just try that again. And we got, who's this? Control Alt Brian. Let's see what he's doing. He looks like he's also playing the computer. Let's take a look and see. We gotta vet our streamers now. The last time I sent you to one, it was like a tournament for like CVS2, but it was like a replay of the tournament, and I didn't realize it. All right, so that guy's got 139. This guy's got 240. All right, we're going to send you over to Classic Spirit. He's just playing some MK2. So if you're still around, you're bored, I don't know who this guy is, but he's going to know who we are very shortly. Let's bring him in here. MK2 CPU is annoying, for sure. Shock, do you know all the people on the Legacy documentary? No clue.
Oh, it's in a two-player game.
All right. I mean, I know of Patrick. I've known of him for like 20 years.
I'll have to make it smoke, though.
Ketchup and Mustard, I've met personally. I know them. But, all right, guys. So, appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Again, if you're an MK1 fan, we do have an MK1 tournament coming up this Saturday, November 8th, Cedar Grove, New Jersey, at the Gamers Grove Esports Center. Mortal Kombat 1. There's going to be some really big players there from like the Midwest too, so it should be a great stream if you want to just watch the stream. If you're in the area, come by, check it out. It's definitely worth coming to. It's worth traveling at least an hour for. So if you're anywhere in an hour of like Newark, the Newark area, come check it out. All right. So everybody, have a great night, and hopefully I'll see you soon. We'll get something else going. All right. Take care.
Hold on, Kintaro. We have business to take care of here.